Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh Helpline's first podcast show with myself, Satnam Singh, and Giani Sukha Singh Ji. Giani Ji?
Hanji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm brilliant.
Tell me, how was it born? The Sikh Helpline, that is.
A very long time ago. Shall I start from there?
Oh.
I think in the 90s, I think it should be 94, 95, I think, I'm not sure, around there.
30 saal ho gaye bhai?
Yeah, 30 saal ho gaye. Or maybe next year will be 30 years. You know?
Yeah.
We had, I do a lot of Gurmat camps,
Yeah.
Sikhi camps. So in one of the camps, we had this open discussion.
Yeah.
I still can remember the topic was Sikhism in Western society, how do we survive?
Yeah.
Now, because we are in the Western society, how do we keep our Sikhi? How do we practice our Sikhi? And how we sort of balance our life in day in, day out, every day, you know? So one of the girls in that topic, she was a little bit emotionally expressing her feelings, saying that I'm being bullied in school, I've been pushed around, called names. My mom doesn't speak English. My dad is a taxi driver. And I feel totally lost. When I walk into the Gurdwara in the 90s, now maybe a little bit different, but in the 90s when I walk into the Gurdwara, the Gianis are all from India. Yeah. The Parmadaks are all Siane. Yeah. No one understands where I'm coming from. And I felt a little bit lost. I don't know who to turn to, who to ask for help. You know? So that's the time I said, when these people got trouble or having issues, they turn around, there's no one helping. Yeah. I thought, no, I should do something. I told her, look, give me your dad's number. Yeah. I'll talk to your dad and I'll go down to the school and resolve this bullying issue. We actually went down to the school. You know, in school, when an outsider come in, like I was a Giani in the Gurdwara, when you walk into the school, they get scared. You know? They say, oh, Granthi aa gaya, ja. Community is here now. So practically when I walk in, when we sat down, we had a proper chat with the head teacher and explained the whole situation. And at that time, the head teacher really took a very serious step on those bullies. Right. And she really punished them and took it very seriously. And the girl and the father was very, very thankful. They said, look, they stopped bullying me and I'm much more happier in school. You know? So that made me actually think. I say, if she's going through this, it could be 100 of them are going through the same thing. You know? I say, who's actually helping them? And not even thinking about it is going to be a national charitable helpline. Yeah. I just took a piece of paper and I wrote the Sikh Helpline, not even thinking of the name, just Sikh Helpline. Yeah. And the most funniest thing is, at that time in the 90s, they got this Nokia phone. I don't know if you remember.
The 402s.
Yeah, old Nokia phone. I put a picture on the poster, put the Sikh Helpline. If you've been bullied or you're having any issues in school, give me a call. I will voluntarily come and help you. You know? So I printed quite a number of copies. I put in a lot of different Gurdwaras. Right. And the calls started coming from Birmingham, from Walsall, Wolverhampton, Coventry. Wow. So they all started giving a call. Then I say, look, people are facing a lot of problems, you know. Yeah. So then I gather a few people together. I say, look, we need to do something about this.
And this was in the 90s?
This was in the 90s.
So what was it predominantly? Was it bullying or was it what, racial abuse, Kisi? What was the main things?
In the beginning, we actually started with bullying, you know, because that was the initial thing, you know. Yeah. And I never thought of mental health. I never thought of domestic violence and all these issues. And I was just thinking bullying, anyone got bullying issue or racial discrimination, you can contact us. And once the calls started coming in, the calls started going from bullying, racial discrimination, and then smoking. I don't know, in the 90s, smoking was a big issue, you know.
It's still a big issue now?
Yeah, so practically the parents are saying that some kids are smoking, we don't know how to stop and so on, you know. So we started helping a lot of them. And then I gathered a small group of people. I say, look, you need to help me, you know. Yeah. In the first time when we started off, we're thinking we need to keep record of all these calls. Right. And we don't have any system, nothing. We just had one email address, Sikh Helpline at, what you call that, I think Hotmail or something like that. You know? So I told everyone, send all your sort of notes into this one email so that we have a trademark of what we have done. You know? Yeah. So from there, it grew and grew, and then we had a lot of calls. And then one lady, she works in the social services. She came and joined us, and when she saw the good work we are doing, and she saw the email say, you're doing a brilliant job, but you need a little bit of structure to your helpline. Yeah. I'm talking about the 90s. You know? 90s. And then she actually brought in like all these policies, safeguarding policies, and all small policies to protect yourself, and also how to handle the cases, how to keep the data safe.
And this was back in the 90s?
90s, yeah. And then she actually the one who lifted the helpline to a different level completely.
Wow. So in regards to like now, obviously you've got HR policies, you've got your safeguarding policies, you've got all your paperwork is legal. Yeah, it's tight, it's watertight. In fact, you won a Queen's Award.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how recognised the charity is now, 30 years later.
Yeah.
But in regards to like back in the 90s, you said that these people, this individual who's being bullied, her mum's or dad's work taxi driver, mum can't speak English, they're Punjabi speaking. Is that happening now, do you think? Is it still happening now?
No, I think now people have come a little bit into understanding the system and process. And we will still have those kind of characters that will
you
come
can't
and
get
go.
rid of those.
Can't get rid of those. But people have a little bit, they started understanding about this bullying and policies and all this kind of
So
things.
what I'm trying to say, Giani ji, yeah, if I'm living in London,
yeah,
right, and they say I'm being sexually abused, I'm being bullied, racially bullied, racially abused, what do you think that a Gurdwara in London or in Birmingham or Scotland, wherever, what advice do you think they would give? Do they know about the Sikh Helpline that far now?
I think most of the Gurdwaras do know about Sikh Helpline.
Yeah.
Maybe not all the Gurdwaras, I'm talking in the 90s
Yeah.
and now. I think there's a difference.
Big difference.
Because nowadays you got quite a number of youngsters already joining, being in the. They've been here for many years.
Yeah.
So they understand the system. They understand when someone comes. I'm sure they will support them and help them. They'll. In fact, we do get people refer from different Gurdwaras.
Right.
They'll call. They say this lady is going through this. Can you help them?
Wow.
And then we will take it on, and then we will help and support them.
So a lot better than what it probably would have been in
Yes.
the 90s. Instead of saying koi na bahut theek hai hunda hi hai.
No, I think it's changed a lot.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
So in regards to like, for the people who are listening, what other services do you offer them? What is the Sikh Helpline? I know, but for the people that are listening to this podcast, tell them what do you do other than bullying?
Well,
help bullying, not bullying people.
Well, the Sikh Helpline is a confidential support and well-being helpline,
Yeah.
where people going through emotional breakdown or they need help and support, where we give them listening ear, we talk to them, give them guidance and support. And it can be from any issue, from domestic violence, mental health, suicide prevention, or even alcohol and drugs. We got a lot of sort of network with other organizations.
Yeah.
And we got volunteers who already joined the helpline who are professional in their own fields.
Absolutely.
So we get them all on board and help them, support them.
You work a lot with mental illness as well, don't you?
We do, yeah, we do.
So what's the percentages of calls then that you get?
Well,
give me some statistics, some numbers.
We printed out this leaflet.
Yeah.
This is Sikh Helpline 2023.
Okay.
The whole year, the review of the whole year. In 2023, 4,480 calls.
Wow.
Yeah, from different cases. So out of these calls, if I just break it down, we actually broke down the percentage.
Yeah.
There are four main categories. This is very wide categories. Sometimes they overlap each other. Family, relationship, and marriage issues.
Okay, marriage issues. Sorry.
Yeah, it's about 20.7%. And then we got domestic abuse, health issues, mental health issues of 15%. So there are a lot of different categories where people call the helpline.
Yeah.
So we break down the categories. We got two different separate categories. One is main category, one is second category. Because if someone might go through domestic violence or domestic abuse, it could be alcohol related.
Yeah.
Or it could be different way. It could be someone alcohol, because of alcohol, they're bullying, the domestic issues comes in.
Yeah.
So some issues, they overlap each other. So practically, we have logged down all these calls to see where the calls are coming from, what kind of cases, what kind of categories. Then on that base, we try to bring out resource to cover.
And give them the right help.
Yeah. You just say if domestic abuse is majority, so we try to bring out more awareness on domestic abuse, leaflet, posters, videos or whatever. Like alcohol will never stop. It happened from day one.
That's more culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more culture. It's what people see when they're watching TVs, music videos, movies, things like that.
Yeah.
They promote it like that quite a lot.
Now, if you look in the 90s, I'm going to give you a 90s case where we got a young boy who is below the age of 16.
Right.
He was in the pub.
Okay.
He drank and he got drunk. and he couldn't even walk. The pub person put him in the cabin, send him home.
Wow.
First thing of all, he should not be in the pub. If he
is underage, firstly.
I don't know how he cheat his age and went in. Because apne bande, they all look big and old. So went home, and the mom and dad started having a big argument and blaming each other. Dekho potada ki hoya, tusi ki kita, and all these kind of things. So somehow they end up calling the helpline. Actually, I went down to the house and I told the mom and dad, I said, look, you can do your fights later.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I say he's the main point here. How you make sure that he get the right help and support.
How did they call you?
They call the helpline. That time the number is gone out.
Yeah.
So they somehow saw the helpline number. They called us. I think the mom called.
Okay.
Then I came down and then I spoke to the mom and dad. I said, look, let us sort out your son first.
Yeah.
So while the discussion, the mom actually said, when the son was 5 years old, the father said, Pot, take your first sip of alcohol. And he said, when you give alcohol a 5 years old son, what do you expect him to be? Then I explaining to the dad, I said, that is totally wrong. Pehlo Sikhan de vich sanu peena hi nahi chahida.
Yeah.
But chalo, at the age of 5, you give him alcohol, you're not actually giving him alcohol. You're putting a nail in his coffin.
Yeah.
I said, because he's going to become alcoholic. Then not even that, he might go into drugs, he might go into many other areas. And tomorrow when he gets married, he's going to drink and you have a lot of problems in the family. I said, you're not actually helping your son, you're destroying him.
Wow.
And
so it's just giving a 5-year-old. It's just, I'm trying to process that, like what you're saying. I can't believe it. That for a 5-year-old, you want to give him good drinks like milk, water, probably the odd cup of tea, right? Some good food, fruit. I can't understand why you're going to give a 5-year-old alcohol. I don't get it.
So actually we help the son to get off his alcohol and then give him to be a counseling, and then we got support for the parents also. What the parents out there don't realize, every action you do is going to reflect on your kids.
Absolutely, because they're watching.
And they're going to pick up.
Yeah.
If I give you one more small example of a 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She called the helpline and she said, I'm an alcoholic.
How old? 18?
18.
Okay.
And because we put out a small video about alcohol, how it destroy family, how it destroy your life, a very short clip.
Yeah.
We blasted it out all over the social media.
Yeah.
And she saw it and then she felt it. You know what? What am I going to do in my life? I'm already alcoholic. She called, she said, I'm so shy to even ask help from anyone because I'm a lady, I'm a girl.
Yeah.
And then I told her, look, don't worry, they have got this home detox. They got a lot of services where we can get you off alcohol, if you are ready to get off it.
Or drugs.
Or drugs is the same thing. But I asked her this question, I said, how did you get here? I cannot understand.
Yeah.
To be an alcoholic, maybe patani saal, 2 saal, you have to keep on drinking to get alcoholic, isn't it? Then she's saying that I started drinking at the age 13.
13?
I said, 13. I said, how did that happen? She said, my dad drinks, come home, fight with the mom, and a lot of issues at home. And she just want to numb the pain. She goes and take the dad's alcohol, hide in the room and drink. She said, I keep on drinking until now I'm alcoholic. But we managed to get a detox center there, home detox in Kota of alcohol.
You're not going to be judged if you pick up the phone call and ask for help. It's not like, oh my God, you've done this and you shouldn't have done this. No, there's an issue, you need support, the help is here.
Help is there, yeah.
But when we speak the way we're speaking, it sometimes is good to understand that somebody who's probably 10 years old right now, sitting there and listening to this, they can think, well, hold on. My parents are drinking, or my friends are drinking, or my relatives are drinking. Look at what they're doing. Do I really want to do that? So perhaps maybe listening to something like this, they can think, that's not maybe the route or the road I want to go down. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
There's one more case where this girl, she's quite intelligent. When we had a discussion on the phone, she mentioned this. She said, I came back in the night, late night, and my people came. So the dad and the mom were not very happy.
Right.
They stayed awake. Then the moment she walked in, unu bathata kursi te, and then they started giving her, how when they started firing her, telling her things, you're doing wrong, you're giving bad name to the community, apni kudiyan aida nahi karna chahida, this and that. And the girl sat down, listen, and then she stopped. She said, can I say one thing? Then the parents said so. She said, Dad, when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, when I was young, We used to go for wedding parties.
Yeah.
Mom, sometimes you are drunk, dad will drive. Dad, sometimes you are drunk, mom will drive home. Then sometimes you are both are drunk, some uncle will send us home. Now, I mean, you are my role model. Where did I go wrong? That was her question. Where did I go wrong? And the mom and dad were looking at each other and thinking, "Oh no, eda ki jawab diye, na? How can we respond to this answer?" Na?
You know, look, that's a very, very good like example you've given there as to how some people go down this route. But let's say your parents aren't drinking. Let's say you're from a Gursikh family, yeah? Right? Both mother and father, they're all, you know, practicing Sikhs. And then the son or daughter goes down that route. Explain that.
Yeah, we do get this kind of cases where the family Amritaris, but the kids, that is the wrong Sangat, no? Like they say, Jaisi Sangat, Taisi Rangat, the kind of wrong society they join.
Yeah.
They'll pick up that habits and the way of life, you know. You know, you want to be part of their friendship, you want to be part of their circle, and then you end up drinking.
Because that's what the popular thing to do is, isn't it?
So that's what happens, you know, sometimes.
So it doesn't matter what family you're from. It doesn't matter if your parents
it'll
are
happen
like this
to any family.
It'll happen to anybody. Everybody is an individual. You all have your own feelings, your own thoughts, and it's your own life. So I guess you have to make your own choices and you have to live by them.
Yeah.
I just want people to know, and I'm sure you want people to know, that things happen.
Yeah.
But the services and the help is here. They're not going to turn you away. They're not going to laugh at you. They're not going to sit you down and say, why do you do this? Why is that? No.
We are just going to be there and help them.
That's not what it's about. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called the Sikh Helpline. It'd be called the Sikh Telling Off. Do you know what I mean? Right? That's not what it is. But if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, you know, I drink, I smoke, I take drugs, I'm a victim of DV, that's domestic violence if you don't know what it means. You know, you think you may be being groomed, sexually abused, or you've got some sort of, perhaps maybe you feel you've got some mental illness or mental well-being. Pick up this phone and ring these guys. Let them know, because suffering in silence, nobody's going to know.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here now, Giani ji, and you're suffering, and there's me sitting here next to you, and you don't tell me you're suffering, will I be able to help you?
You cannot until you don't
until
pick
it's
up the
too
call.
late.
Yeah, until you don't pick up the call and call.
Exactly.
Because we are there to help and support. Whatever conversation, whatever call you make, it'll be all confidential.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we are very strict in our policy. Like we got about 4 or 5 people working for the Sikh Helpline. So every Monday till Friday from 10 to 6, the office, we got someone working. And they'll pick up the call, and they all know that every call is confidential. We do not share it with any third party or any other public or anything.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we get different family member asking, can I have information what happened? We say, sorry, we cannot share it with you. Even though, the police officers come and say, can we have the file? We will not give them the file without the person's consent. Yeah. Because it's a confidential information, you know.
And this is where you need to rest assured that nothing will be done without your consent, unless it's a very serious matter where something has to be disclosed. Then we have our own legal rights and obligations.
Yeah.
But anything that you disclose from the things that we have listed, Giani ji has said, it's confidential. Even the people who work within the same team won't know about each other's cases.
Yeah, we have actually locked, like we got a lot of volunteers all over around the UK.
Yeah.
And this, a lot of people are thinking this is sort of a Midlands helpline.
Yeah.
But we are actually national. We get calls from London, we get from even Scotland, Edinburgh, we get from Newcastle, we get calls from all over around the UK. When you say world, we do get calls from other countries.
Do you?
But we get other volunteers to look into that, you know.
So what?
Through WhatsApp, we'll do talk and help them and support
America?
them. Yeah, America, we got one volunteer is from America.
Yeah.
Gurkha Singh, he's one of our volunteers.
Wow.
So we always get him to handle. In Australia, I got 2 volunteers who helps in this case if any case come.
So it's not just a national then, it's almost going international,
but practically our focus is UK at the moment, you know. So we get calls all around the UK, and Genevieve volunteers we have, they cannot view each other's cases.
And the other thing that I wanted to say, you know, is that a lot of people, when they look at the social media, they see you on a bike. They see everybody on a bike. They will see you at the Gurdwara and they go, bike ride wale aaya. let's get one thing clear.
It's not a bike helpline.
It's not a bike helpline. We are not government funded. This is only ran by the donations of you guys, the sevadars, the people of the community and outside of the community. You got to understand, to run something like this, it costs money. True,
in fact, we got 4 or 5 people working for us, so we have to pay them. We got all these leaflets we print. Well, what people don't realize, the Sikh Helpline has got a structure. No?
Yeah.
So let me take an example. If someone wants to volunteer with the Sikh Helpline, what happens? So first thing of all, there's an application form where they fill up.
Yeah.
They'll send the CV and 2 references. And then we'll have a face-to-face interview or maybe online interview to find out the person. We can see the person, we can talk to the person, we know the person. So all of that, once is all of that done, then we do a DBS check, police check.
Yeah.
We have to make sure they don't have any crime or anything attached to themselves. So once all of this is completed, and then we are satisfied, and then we bring them as a volunteer. And then when we give cases, they only can log in and see their cases. They cannot see anyone else's cases. Anyone new comes and join the helpline, they'll look after them to make sure. Because the thing is, it's very emotionally challenging. People don't realize, And then we got our online training. There's 8 stages of training. They have to go through all the training, the data protection, and all the policies. They have to sign all the policies. So this girl, she gone through all the training and everything. She sort of shadow one of the call handlers for a week to make sure she knows what she's getting into, and how the system is.
And if it's right for her?
Yeah, no, they already right. They know what they're getting into, to just get the training and experience and part of the training. So this girl came the first time, the first day, she's going to take the call herself.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the first call she pick up? A lady say, I'm on the balcony, I'm going to jump.
I had a live call, say, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, I'm going to kill myself. I said, I went through a very bad divorce, a violent divorce. The police, everybody was involved, and now I'm staying alone in my own flat, and I just had enough. I'm going to jump in, I'm going to take my life. And can you imagine what goes in that young girl's mind
not just young girl, anyone?
Yeah, anyone. And of course you get panic, you get it can affect your emotions, your mental health is so. So chalo, that was a call. We saved that lady. She managed to talk to her and got her sort of understand that there are many other help and support out there. She gave a lot of good example, and we managed to get her address. And I called the ambulance, I called the police, I say, you need to go to the house and save this lady, The ambulance said to me first, when I dialed ambulance, he said, you need to call the police. I say, I called the police, he said, I need to call the ambulance, So he said, it'll take us about 2.5 hours. I told the ambulance, I said, they're going to jump now, and you're talking about 2.5 hours. I said, that's too late. And they were good enough, and I took the name of the person, they were good enough to send the ambulance immediately.
Wow.
And the police also went immediately. They managed to save the lady and took her under mental health. But that young girl, can you imagine what she's going through? So on the helpline team, we have 2 clinical psychiatrists who is actually specialized to help and support all our volunteers. If they've gone through a very tough case, they've gone through a very challenging case.
So they've got someone to talk to.
They got someone to talk to.
Because the call handlers, they're going to need someone to speak to after, because it's not just going to be suicide that people are calling for. There's potential rape, sexual harassment, bullying, violence, a lot of things that can be very traumatic for the person who's handling the call and trying to help that person.
Yeah, so we got clinical psychiatrists who actually help and support our volunteers or call handlers who gone through tough time. So all of this is in the back end, which people don't realize. If I give you one more quite serious case of a mom and a son through domestic violence, and she was so depressed, she never left the house for more than a year. And the son, because the mom is depressed, the son went depression. He so doesn't go to school. And then the authority is saying that we're going to take you to the court, we're going to find you, you cannot do this, you're a bad mom, but they don't realize what she's going through. When the helpline, our helpline lady found out about this, we managed to send a lady to talk to the lady and try to help and support her, make her understand, look, there's a lot of help down there.
Wow.
She was in such a dark area. At that time, she actually decided, I'm going to take my life and I'm going to take my 10-year-old's life. I don't want him to suffer the way I'm suffering. So we managed to, it took at least a month just to convince the mum that we are here to help. Because her one word is, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ, and all this kind of thing. She is not very happy with a lot of services around, you know. So this lady and the son, after giving them the help and support in talking to the local authorities, they came in to help after that, you know.
Yeah.
And the mom went back to work, the son went back to school, and they're in a much more better place.
Good.
So this kind of a lot of cases where we don't really promote it out in the social media, you know.
Yeah.
Because I believe in one thing, that the helpline is growing organically.
Absolutely.
Some people like to make it so big, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's something I think it's very, very wrong, because you're giving the false impression.
False impression, and you're just doing it for clicks.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we are perfect. No,
yeah.
we do miss calls sometimes because we got only one line coming in,
yeah.
two numbers, but one line.
Yeah.
So if the helpline person is on a call, if someone calls at the same time, they will not be able to pick up the call.
But there's other ways of contacting you. You can go onto Instagram, you can go onto your Facebook, you can go onto your website, email.
Places,
There's you can send messages that way, and then you guys will call them back, right?
Yeah, we'll call back.
Touching on that, where you said there's other organizations that turn around and go, boss, geez, you know what I mean, right? You don't force people to do anything, do you?
No, we don't.
You don't? If they turn around and say, look, I want to stop here, I don't want it going well, thank you very much.
You know, sometimes when someone calls the helpline, we won't ask their name, we won't ask any information if they don't want to give.
Okay.
We can tell them, just talk to us.
Yeah.
Now, when you feel comfortable, you can give your information.
Absolutely.
So it's not compulsory. Even sometimes people call anonymous number, we'll still pick up and talk to them. But sometimes we get a call which someone might be high on alcohol, they call the helpline.
Yeah.
So, but I'll still talk to them. I will not just cut them off, you know.
No, that's good.
And try to make them understand that, look, when you're much more better, udon call kar diyo na.
Well, look, I think, Giani ji, thank you. That's been a good little podcast to start off with.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to continue doing some more.
Yep.
And I think our next podcast, guys, please do tune in. Issues as to why it happens, where it's going wrong, what's going wrong, what could it be. We're not saying we've got the answers to everything. It's just going to be a discussion, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're only giving what we could think it could be. We're not giving you hardcore facts or anything like that. It's just that it could be something like this, it could be something like that. And I think, it's something good to do.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on to the podcast.
No, you're most welcome.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you don't know who we are, it's Sikh Helpline. You can follow us on Instagram at Sikh Helpline. Please go, click, share the profile, let people know, spread the awareness. Like they say, your best customers are the ones who keep advocating for you, spreading the word. So please do that.
Yeah.
Giani ji, anything from you?
Yeah, I just want to say, if you're expert in a certain field, and you want to volunteer, give your time back to the community, please contact the sikhhelpline.com, or just send us an email, info@sikhhelpline.com.
Okay.
And then we can bring you on board. And because if you really ask me, the volunteers, they are the backbone of the Sikh Helpline.
Yeah.
Without the volunteers, we will not be able to help and support others.
Absolutely.
All right.
Chalo. So, Giani ji, thank you very much. To everybody,
Waheguru ji ka khalsa, Waheguru ji ki fateh.